The difference in regret, fear, loneliness, and joy and contentment is not new set of activities, new purpose. It is just to know a little more about yourself, a little more about where your thoughts are coming from, where your emotions are coming from, the source of your being. Are you just a product of biological creation? Are you just a limited body that is connected to all other bodies and eventually you're going to perish with the body? Or are you something more? Now, these are the things existentially already you are a part of. You are already a part of something deeper, something more beautiful. The regret is your purpose is actually to know this. One half of life is action and activity. The other half of life is to know why you're acting, why you're doing something, why you're making decisions. Being on the right path is just to realize that most of your life has already been a beautiful journey. Indirectly, without you knowing, your life has contributed to the enhancement of deeper meaning of life. Maybe you're not seeing it, but your actions, your thoughts have already set certain things in motion. You might not even be here to see all that. But if you understand the deeper structures of life, you will see that even the worst form of regret, you need to reserve it for just one part of your being. That is your actions, your thoughts, and why you're not able to find deeper meaning and purpose in this. But underlying this, there is already a deep completion of your life. There's one beautiful story that reminds us of that deep unconscious. We are not aware of a lot of things that are happening in the inner dimension of life. But the deeper you go, the more they reveal themselves, and the deepest parts of our being are always the most beautiful. Ugliness is a surface phenomenon where we do not understand why some things are happening. Beauty is being at the center of knowing. That's the difference between a Buddha and everybody else. Their lives are not very different, their actions are not very different. But because a Buddha knows why he is, what he is, where he is, there is deep joy in being, in doing, in acting. In a small village, there was a water bearer who carried water from the river to his master's house using two large pots, each hanging at the ends of a pole. One of the pots had a crack, and by the time the water bearer reached the house, it would be only half full. One day, the cracked pot spoke to the water bearer. "I feel so ashamed. I leak, and by the time we reach the house, I am only half full. I must be a burden to you." The water bearer smiled and said, "Look on the side of the path you leak on." The pot looked and noticed a trail of beautiful flowers growing along that side. The water bearer explained, "I knew about your crack and I planted flower seeds on your side. Every day as we walked back, you watered those seeds, and now you've helped create this beautiful garden." Moral of the story is, even a crackpot is useful in some way. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you've done in life, even if you are a total useless crackpot, your life is still beautiful. it is still meaningful because you are a part of the vast design of life. You can make yourself utterly useless to yourself, but existence knows how to use you. When existence uses you, it is not negative. It is a part of the very design of your life. You cannot enter this realm, you cannot possess this body, this mind, without that deep beauty and purpose already weaved in. That is why each and every individual, no matter who they are, is worthy of love and respect. Yes, we can criticize their actions, we can condemn certain behaviors, but we should never go to the very heart of their being and condemn it. As much as possible in our interaction, we should try and recognize that beautiful center and give individuals that love and respect, not because they deserve it in action, not because they have done something great or they did not do something, but the very fact that they're alive, they're pushing through life. If something is alive, it deserves your love and respect. In that sense, everything in existence deserves your love and respect because everything is alive. There's nothing dead in existence. Existence itself commands your love and respect and reverence. Existence need not be really conducive to your life. It need not always be a beautiful experience. A rose plant can have thorns. Life can be harsh. You might have to push through it. You might have to struggle through certain phases of your life. But there is no need to lose all hope. There is no need to regret everything you've ever done. Regret has to be reserved for that part of your being where you can make some changes. Regret is useful only in that context. It'll help you to change the way you look at things. It'll help you to change the way you do things. But if regret goes too deep, and if it goes to the very heart of the matter, where you start seeing your life itself as something negative, as a sin, as a crime, you miss the whole plot. Now, this is a problem with certain religious ideologies. They don't stop at the level of the mind, which is where most of the sin is, because we do not understand what life is. We make a lot of mistakes. That is the level to which error and sin has to be restricted, but they go to the very heart of the matter. Your very birth is sin. Every breath you take is sin. What nonsense. Why should life allow such a sinful thing to exist? While everything in life happens as a sheer expression of joy, have you ever seen a crying flower? Have you ever seen a withered flower blooming? Have you ever seen a dried plant growing? Life is an exuberance of joy. Everything around you is reminding you that life is creating not out of guilt, not out of sin. It's creating out of sheer joy. And you are alive, you are a part of life, which simply means you are a product of joy. How can you be a product of sin? How can you be a product of regret? How can you be a mistake? You might have made a lot of mistakes in your life by not understanding this true purpose. In fact, what is the biggest sin? Is to not see that you are an expression of joy. When you forget that you are an expression of joy, that is when you have entangled yourself in the world of sin and sinners. That is the sin you need to get rid of. This idea that there is something fundamentally wrong. And Christianity takes it to a whole new level. The sexual process, which is the pinnacle of joy, pinnacle of bliss, that itself is a sin. Now, how do you escape that? We should not go to the very heart of things, because we don't have the capacity to judge life at the center. We can only judge our actions, our thought processes on the surface, on the periphery. At the center, we should go in like children, with awe, with wonder, with curiosity, to know what's happening there. That is the quest for truth. Quest for truth is not to acquire this perfect understanding of life that can make everything clear. Quest for truth is to actually surrender all this additional baggage of responsibility, of sin, a life that has gone wrong, trying to set things right. Truth is not a place for all that. It is a place to hop, skip, and go playfully towards the center of your being, which is nothing but joy. The innermost core of your being is just pure joy, which has no form, which has no limitations. It can become anything it wants. Now, that joy has become you in this life. If you have failed to see this, if somehow your philosophy of life, your religious thought process, your upbringing has disconnected you from this joy, has somehow created a barricade between you and this joy, that is what needs setting right. That severed connection has to be restored. The connection is already there. You don't have to re-establish it. You don't have to recreate it. You just have to unblock it. You have to see what are these obstacles. And you will see they are only made up of thoughts. There's no physical wall separating you and your truth, except for an idea that you are this, you are that. Ideas that have become your limitations. Ideas that have become your reality. When you look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is it, this is who I am, I don't exist outside of this mirror, then you're missing the point. Now that is a visual limitation you have accepted for yourself. Well, just close your eyes and feel life. You will see there are no boundaries there. It is only when you open your eyes there is a boundary to your form. Close your eyes, where is the boundary? You cannot even feel the boundary. And you can go as deep as you want to feel a sense of absolute connectedness with everything. You can be here and experience what is it to be on a different star. That is how vast your being is. I have not seen his face, nor have I listened to his voice. Only I have heard his gentle footsteps from the road before my house. The livelong day has passed in spreading his seat on the floor, but the lamp has not been lit. And I cannot ask him into my house. I live in the hope of meeting with him, but this meeting is not yet. It's just an honest reflection of that final hour that has not yet arrived. That moment of meeting, that moment of merger, a moment of completion. A poet is searching for, he knows what beauty is. He knows what completion is. And he also knows that he's not yet there. That is why he's trying to connect with it in as many different ways as possible. And he is feeling this sense of regret that maybe I've not done enough. I could have done more. But at least, let me put the carpet. Let me open the door. Let me pour some oil into this lamp. Let me keep everything ready for the face of truth to reveal itself. As individuals, that is all what we can do. We cannot force truth to reveal itself. We cannot be impatient to become one with that ultimate. Our work is only to arrange things in the right way, to create the right conditions, to keep the space free and open for that something to accommodate. Don't be afraid of empty corners of your being. Don't be afraid of silence. Don't be afraid of stillness. Your truth ultimately will walk through those doors. It is not the noisiest part of your life, the most vibrant part of your life, the most useful part of your life that accommodates the truth. It is the quietest part of your life, the stillest part of your life. Are you spending enough time every day to be nothing, to do nothing? Are you cultivating nothingness? Just like growing any plant, you cannot grow the plant. You cannot force it to grow. You cannot force it to flower and fruit. But you can give it the right conditions. You can nurture it. Everything in moderation. Care for it in moderation. Don't over strangle it. Don't overprotect it. Give it nourishment in moderation. Don't keep on pouring water. Don't keep on adding manure. Just do everything in moderation. Know that you have to do a little bit. Rest is being done. That's what you do in meditation. That's what you do in spirituality. You don't do too much. You just do the right things at the right time. Keep coming back to it. Know that you're nurturing this plant of silence. You're nurturing this plant of stillness. Keep coming back to it. Slowly, you will see it growing. And eventually, it will become all that you are wanting it to become. It's the same nothingness that becomes a completion. In the miniature form, in your capacity, as a limited mind, as a limited body, what is it that you can do to cultivate this nothingness? Regret is just a starting point. If you regret the fact that you have actually done quite a bit, you have moved a lot, you have done things, but nothing has actually contributed to this settling, then that can become a seed for this new doing, which is non-doing. New kind of becoming, which is just being. New kind of moving, which is non-moving. If you can arrange your life around these seemingly contradictory qualities of life and hold on to them, nourish them, a day will come when they will produce the necessary fruits of your labor.